Hello and welcome once again to Truth Telling Time. Yes, it is time for us to tell our truths according to us. This program is brought to you by Imani Unidad. And anyone who knows me knows one of the things that truly excites me is young people. Young people with a conscience. Young people who have learned to think, who can use their own minds. Young people who are active. Young people who have something to say and will say it. And so I am joined by three young activists. Young people who are trying to make a difference in their communities. And so I will allow each of them to introduce themselves, and then we will begin our conversation. To my left, I have...
My name is Blue Casey. I am a founder of the New Black Power Movement, a rapper, singer, songwriter, and activist in the city of South Bend, Indiana.
Sister girl.
Hi, I'm Ananio Karaki, activist, actress, and just, I guess, public speaker, so to speak. And I just always have something to say.
Okay.
I'm Antonius Northern. I'm the director of Empower South Bend and active member of the New Black Power Movement, founder of the Anchor Journal, host of the Anchor Evening Gallery show on this station, and quite a few other things. But most importantly, though, I learned a lot, and I think it's time to share it with the community.
All right. Well, most recently I saw you all together as you were protesting across the street from the police station.
Indeed.
And as I passed, I did my little honk honk out to the people.
Yeah.
So, tell me all about, you are the founder
Yes,
of
ma'am.
the New Black Power Movement.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Tell me all about the New Black Power Movement. Its genesis, what moved your soul to begin this?
Well, I always been embracing Black history. You know, I grew myself up on reading Black encyclopedias and learning about our history, learning about our leaders. And I started to do a lot more review on that as I got older. And my mind just started to be enlightened, and I started to see, you know, reasons of why my generation, the 90s generation, I call it the lost generation, was so lost. You know what I mean? I did the history and the research and found out the reasons why all our leaders got killed. Drugs got pushed into the community, poverty happened, gangs started running the community, all that stuff. And I realized that it was a trickle-down effect, it was a domino effect. Something in my mind clicked and said, we need more leaders for the next generation. The reason why my generation was messed up because we had no leaders. They were either dead or in jail. So it was time, something clicked in my head to where I had to step up and become a leader in my community for the young Black youth that was looking up to me. So that's where I began. I started becoming an activist in my community. I helped found the Fremont Park Youth Foundation, started doing stop the violence things in the community. And when I started seeing that, okay, it's not just with everybody, but there's a target on our people, period. And the target never went away. The wool got put over our eyes, but the target has always been there. And I wanted to have a program, a movement in my city, in my community, to where we're going to stop both sides, political, law enforcement, and ourselves. We're going to try to stop the violence from in our community and outside of our community, because that's the only way we can actually stay strong and be able to fight the system that's made against us.
Okay, so bringing that awareness to the masses and understanding that it's not a focus on just one aspect of the issue, but it's inclusive of all parts to make a whole.
Exactly.
Thank you. Nia, as co-founder, what moves your soul?
I mean, I tell the story time and time again of how I actually got involved with the original rally that, I guess, set South Bend ablaze. I didn't sleep that night. Insomnia was taking over my body because, you know, my dad was out working the night shift, and, you know, the possibility of him just trying to pump his gas and getting shot because he fits the description kept running through my mind. When Blue said that he wanted to put on a rally, I said, well, I got something to say, so I really don't care what your rally is about. I just know I want to say something at it. So I don't know who you got lined up, but make sure that I get a spot in there. Turns out it was really only us two that decided to like really get in there. Of course, Antonius was there, of course, because he's always our backbone of any situation. But when I finally got out there and finally said what I needed to say, it was such an empowering moment, and it definitely moved me to want to do more like Blue when I was younger, and I used to look into Black history. It always intrigued me. The strides that our ancestors have made and things like that have definitely opened my eyes past the progress truly being considered progress, and how we're definitely in the same situation that we were 400 years ago, but rather than slavery, it's more enslavement. Definitely, I believe that the system is built against us, and that's what's really inspired me to become a part of the new Black Power movement, just because, I mean, I really don't care if people think that it's a Black supremacy idea, because the truth is it's about Black empowerment. Yeah, Black power, we can compare it to white power all we want, but what we mean by it is Black empowerment. We want to empower our people to see past what the system has set up for us. It's basically the idea of living in the lap of luxury, someone kidnapping you and then convincing you that, you know, this is a better way of life when you were just living in the lap of luxury. It doesn't make any sense. So I definitely want to, I guess for lack of a better word, unbrainwash my people.
Okay.
That's what's
Nicely
up.
put.
That's awesome.
Antonius, you have been around this community for quite some time. I have watched you grow and develop. I think I texted you one day. I don't know where it was I saw you, but you just made my heart pump. I was just so proud of you. I've been that over and over and over again. So
Right on.
tell us all about you and your role in the new Black Power movement.
I was like, while you were, well, first let me just say thank you for having us out. You don't understand what type of like pleasure and like privilege it is to be here inside of this space with my little brother and my little sister, and not to be here necessarily because of my specific efforts, but because of the moves and things that they're doing. I was actually around somebody just yesterday, and they said, you know, you can tell the tree by its fruit. Right, and like I remember like working and trying to figure out a way to make sure that we would have some quality entertainment. I remember trying to figure out ways that we would get quality education so that our community would be able to inform itself and be a part of itself. And to see, you know, that working hard at that allowed me to connect with Nia, and that also allowed me to connect with Blue is just, you know, awesome. It's just off the chain to actually be, you know, in the sauce long enough to see another group of people that believe like you do start to show up inside of the community. So, you know, mad respect to my little brother and my little sister for all of the work that they've done inside of the city. But for me, I think, you know, my reality has always been one that you had to create. I'm an only child. Right, so I grew up with the understanding that if I wanted to see something happen, it was going to be on me in order to create that situation. And I never really had a problem with anybody else or being inclusive. So I always worked to kind of create organizations or situations where everybody could participate in those situations. And I found that, you know, being of service creates the change that you want to see. It doesn't matter if it was doing, you know, writing programs with South Bend schools and their family literacy program, or if it was, you know, helping out with the NAACP in order to, you know, introduce their brand new president or to help them with their election situation. Like, it's always been about trying to be that change that you wanted to see happen. And so, you know, now I'm just trying to be true. I guess the craziest thing is the poetry has gotten so much richer. My art has started to reflect the life that I live, and so I just be trying to live up to the statements that I make inside of my poetry more so than anything. And you know, being a king means that, you know, you take serious responsibility for your own personal destiny. I'm not the king of anybody else. I'm a king of myself, and so I take that very seriously, and I try to be an example.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, Blue, I first met you with the Fremont Association.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Remember
ma'am.
our
Still is.
bus trip to Indianapolis for Moral.
Moral Mondays.
Moral-
That was one of
Moral
the first
Mondays.
rallies I was ever a part of.
Absolutely, and you wrapped us all the way down there.
Are you busting flows on more
President's Greatest and a couple other things, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what's sad.
Yes.
Definitely.
And so, tell us a little bit about the Fremont group, because you said that was your initial.
Yeah, that was my
Movement.
that was one of the first organizations I helped found. Fremont Park is we created it. Actually, a tragic event happened in my neighborhood park, and you know a lot of kids were scared to come to the park after this had happened. And we had tried to change that image of Fremont Park. You know, that was my neighborhood park. That's where I grew up in, and we wanted to change that perspective of even taking away the old perspective of it being the hood park and, you know, where that's where you can find trouble if you wanted all that. Instead, we wanted it to be peace, love, unity, having fun. We wanted it to be come out here, enjoy yourself, be with the kids, have fun, and just be a kid. We didn't want the negative perspective on the park no more, and that's what it is today. You know, today now we had the old cracked up basketball court's not there. You got a new basketball court. You see kids on every day with a message on there: peace, love, educate, and having fun.
Okay.
So,
And so, what were some of the activities and things that you created to transform the park from the negative to the positive?
well, actually, right now at the park, they're doing a book club
Okay.
for the kids, and they're giving out s'mores and things like that. So
Shout out to Nosha.
definitely shout out to the whole squad: Nosha, Kim, Andre, Miss Lisa, Valerie. You know, they handling their business right now. So definitely.
Big Black Power fist to the Fremont Block Party. Straight like that.
They at every meeting also. They are big supporters of the new Black Power movements also.
Okay. So it was engaging the adults in your community as well. So
Definitely.
they became a big supporter.
Definitely. Shout out to the Far Northwest Association for that too.
Okay.
Definitely.
And they bought in. All right. And so the new Black Power movement has as its quote unquote mission is goes. Where are you going?
So new Black Power. The acronym we just recently put a full acronym to it, which is Neighborhoods United, Building Leadership and Community Knowledge.
Okay.
And when you say building leadership and community knowledge, that's Black. So what we're doing is basically bringing our youth in, giving them the knowledge that they're not getting in school, giving them this knowledge because you cannot change your future unless you know your history. You have to know where you're coming from to know where you're going. So we try to first bring them in with the history, get them involved, have them volunteering by being a part of their community, and then turn them into community leaders. Same thing that somebody had to do with me, because I came originally from the streets. So we had to reverse that entire cycle and let them know that the system is made against you for you to fail.
Okay.
And you have to break down every element in front of you for you to succeed. And we need that as together as a unity with the people. So that's what the new Black Power movement is just to provide these resources and this knowledge for our youth.
Okay.
and our
so
community
the
as a whole.
resources begins with the knowledge.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
And
Knowledge
then
is
the
power.
human resources. All right.
I mean, you also gotta, you know what I'm saying, make sure that it's clear that, cause like, people forget where Black Power comes from, and they think that they can compare it to white power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? And like, even if it was a comparison, right? Your leaders ain't our leaders, right? The guy who really coined the phrase Black Power is, you know, Kwame Ture, right? And like, that's not the same, you know what I'm saying, breed or stock of individual. And when this brother spoke on the Black Power agenda, what he was saying is that we needed to equip ourselves with the power necessary to defeat racism, white supremacy. And so what we have started to do, and that's what Blue is really doing, and that's what makes us so excited about being a part of the new Black Power movement, is that he is corralling all of these resources in order, in human capital and in real dollars. You know, they actually did, they were able to create a sense of accountability and not necessarily a sense of assimilation, right? They didn't necessarily, as other organizations or other entities have done, kind of allow for the city to absorb who they were. Instead, they created a sense of accountability. They came to city council meetings and made it extremely clear that the way that the money was being spent inside of the city was not going to be acceptable to the residents of that neighborhood. And then in turn, they were able to create a specific change. So that's the power that Stokely Carmichael was talking about. Those types of things are the resurgence of that new Black Power movement. Is when you see young people who are reaching